I'm not quite sure why this particular soundbite. I saw a lot of people on the left trying to make a really big deal of this last night. And I don't care if someone disagrees with me about certain issues or if we don't see eye to eye on certain issues. I just think, what does that have to do with self-defense, either in this case or in the case of Jaleel Stallings or in the Andrew Coffey case? I mean, I could sit here and go on and on and on. I'm sure that all of these individuals within the past 2 years that have been in court and have successfully defended themselves and been acquitted and acted within self-defense. What does anyone's personal belief have to do with that, Niger?
Well, you have members of the left media and among the left activists that are trying to maximize a statement that an innocent young man, I believe he's 18 years old, has just gone through the ordeal of a lifetime that I would not want to wish on anyone. And the poor young man just wants to go to school, just wants to go to university, I believe University of Arizona, and attend that school. I think he's an online student. He would like to do it in person. He's probably going to be compelled to do it online, at least initially. He just wants to get back to normal life. He does not want to be viewed as what the president of the United States irresponsibly, unfortunately, called him, which is a white supremacist, or implied that he was a white supremacist. He doesn't want that label. And so consequently, he did the gut instinct, the easy reflex, which is to say, see, I'm not a racist. I support BLM, while not knowing the implications of such a statement. It's not his fault, but I know why and what the left is doing to maximize that statement for their own ends, and it's not in the interests of Rittenhouse.
Yeah, it was interesting to watch that happen back and forth last night, and it really was. I mean, this really was, I think, an effort by, some of those that we oppose ideologically to really kind of, really put self-defense to the test. I mean, with every other variable that was thrown in, it really was about self-defense. And I was fascinated that this got most of the coverage. You had the Andrew Coffey case that happened the exact same night. That was a no-knock raid. That happened the exact same evening. And then you had something similar. This was 2 days. This was in Minneapolis, and it was 2 days after Floyd's death, when you had Jaleel Stallings, CHL holder, in front of his business on his property with his lawfully carried firearm, and he was defending himself against unmarked police vehicle that was firing off non-lethal rounds, which how are you supposed to know when it's an unmarked vehicle and you have plainclothes people driving and SWAT's in the back? You don't know. And he successfully defended himself. Nobody talked about those cases. And I kind of have to wonder, I mean, do you really think that this is a war on self-defense, period, no matter the tool used to do it?
There's no question that many within the left, even the so-called reasonable people on the left, someone like Bill Maher, has been hostile to the Second Amendment, has been hostile to, and has said quite openly, a number of folks have said quite openly that it should be taken away from the Constitution or regulated to such a degree that it becomes irrelevant. It becomes an amendment without any teeth. It becomes an amendment that is unusable. And there's no question that the issue of self-defense, and clearly in the case of Rittenhouse, it was an example of self-defense. They want to take the subject matter away from the issue of self-defense, take it away from the Second Amendment and how critically important it is. They have been losing that argument. When Robert Kennedy Jr. can say that the Second Amendment is, and I'm paraphrasing, but the Second Amendment is the only thing holding up our Constitution in the current state of affairs. And Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is no right-wing extremist, far from it. Right. For him to say that is extraordinary. It's something that you and I and others among our crowd have been saying for years. But for him to say that, that means that the argument is penetrating honest, decent Americans of throughout the spectrum, political spectrum.